Hello. How are you, Abby?
Oh, I just woke up.
Mhm.
Like when you text me, I was like, it was like slob on my mouth on the side. I'm like, oh shit! It's
Good thing I texted you then, eh?
good thing you texted me because I wasn't expecting to fall asleep. So I appreciate that. Hi, driving me, Macy, Miss Macy, CBC voter, and thanks for the shout out to Snow Himbo. Who else we
Kieran.
have here? Jacqueline. Jacqueline, we're doing a short show tonight, so we're all gonna go take a nap together afterwards. Kieran, hi Kieran, and whoever's lurking in the background.
Whoever's on Rumble over there, thanks for watching. Whoever's going to tune in later, appreciate you
Yeah,
too.
they usually tune in later. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut the fuck up because you have a, a, a guest. You guys are gonna talk about Canada. I know nothing about it, and I'm just gonna sit back and admin, and maybe I'll jump in and ask questions every now and again. How's that sound?
Sure, sure. I'm sure you know plenty about Canada. Feel free to tune in with any kind
Not
of
much.
commentary or just reaction to stuff you maybe learn about whatever we're going to go through today.
I actually should know more about it than I do. It's kind of embarrassing.
Right. Well, same. I feel like same goes for me, really, and I live in Canada. But
Okay.
let's, without further ado, let's not keep our guests waiting in the back any much longer. So, Himbo, what's up?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. How's everybody doing?
I'm
Very
good.
good. Very
I'm glad
good.
you accepted our invitation. I've been wanting to have you on for a little while. Sorry if it took a little while to have you on. So
No, I'm thankful. I'm glad that I can be on here before our country fully burns to the ground. You know.
Right. Well, we get a chance to before we get labeled as Antifa terrorists. We maybe have an opportunity to have at least one conversation.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Before the AI sex robots kill us all.
Man, I was just covering that too.
I
was
know.
Yeah, it was bad. This isn't like the timeline I wanted. Well, obviously not. The timeline I wanted involves, seizing the means of production, but not AI sex robots. That's just scary.
HD's nuts.
Yeah, well, as far as I remember I was watching that. I was there with you on that live stream when you were talking about those sex bots, and I'm often maybe pointing the finger a little too often at China these days. But to me, really, they're the driving force behind the demand for the sex robots, and I think that's got a little bit to do with their anti-gooner policies of no pornography for you, young Chinese men and women, and so.
But
Pros and cons with the firewall there.
They don't have robots that look, that look like humans. And even if they did, I shouldn't even say that. Seems like the men robots looked like the old Epstein pervs, and the women robots looked like prepubescent children. And that was just fucking weird.
The forehead, like the shape of the head, it looks like a very young girl. It's profoundly disturbing. And I don't know, one of them looked like Andrew Tate. It was really weird. I was like, is this because he got arrested? Is that you guys need a replacement for him for whatever horrifying stuff everybody's doing behind the scenes?
I'm sure Barron will help get him out. So
yeah, I'm wondering what's the purpose of all that. I feel like they don't usually try to arrest their own CIA agents unless they have some kind of reason for the whole spectacle. So
I need to do a deep dive into it. I've got a couple theories, but I try never to just go off theories. It's like I need the meat, I need the potatoes, I need the side of asparagus.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's it. So you're Michael. You're a lot alike.
When it comes to doing research projects, that's kind of the historical materialism way, the dialectical materialist way, to not be just believing what we want, or telling people what they want to hear.
Well, speaking of, I've always found the most long-standing, I call them zombie lies, but one of the biggest lies about socialism, communism, is that everybody's like, it's not, we can't do a utopia. And it's like, bro, it's scientific. There was a book on this. We're doing science. That's why I can hold good aspects of China, for example, and negative aspects of China. I'm not like one of these super China glazers, but I'm going to be like, okay, well, they have improved the material conditions of the working class. We could use a little bit more of that over on this side of the pond. But I'm also not going to have blinders on and be like, you know, there aren't things I disagree about. It's you got to look at people's material reality. That's the most important first step to do.
For sure. I mean, I wouldn't want to make this stream too much about China, because I mean, we do, like a lot of channels these days, we do our fair bit about talking about China. But today, I
Let's
thought it
go
was more
Canada.
to focus on Canada, especially when now is a really important time for us as comrades to be figuring out what are the prospects for communism in Canada. What is it that we're supposed to be doing? There's kind of an issue as far as political parties. There's a lot of, like, I feel like a lack of appetite, a lot of pessimism and cynicism about the possibility of a successful communist party. And so people have this kind of defeatist attitude about what can we do? We can't really even do anything. And that's like making everything worse. So I'm not sure as far as what to tell people, which direction to point them into. I feel like the Communist Party of Canada, the old traditional one, the one that's been around since like the 1920s, I think it's safe to say that that's not the right direction to be encouraging the modern day communists in Canada to be supporting. It seems like a dead end. So I don't know what you think about that.
To be honest, I'm kind of at the level where I think we need to be focusing and seriously more on getting people organized and doing direct action. Things like, because there's so many slam dunks, right? Carney is just making it, as I predicted he would, is making it very easy to rally people around the atrocious policy decisions he's made. Perfect example, these wildfires, right? That's on him. This is on him. We don't have the resources because of him. But I think the most important thing right now is to get people organized around the things that we all oppose, because there's a lot of things about the Carney government that I've spoken to everyday regular proles. You know, a lot of them don't have like a class analysis of anything, and they're just fed up, and it's across the board. And a lot of them are fed up with both major parties. Carney immediately coming out and supporting Trump's illegal war of aggression in Iran. That upset everybody. I know. Nobody was about that. They're like, what are you doing? You know, all the data center stuff, that's a problem up here too. He's getting a lot of criticism now, the wildfires, because Trump's like doing the tariff thing because of the wildfires. And I don't know what it's like where you're at, but the air quality isn't great some days. There was a period where it was so bad I had a headache for 48 hours.
Well, since I'm a smoker, it tends to be a little bit more difficult for me to determine, do I feel like shit because I always feel like shit because I got to quit those damn cigarettes? But we definitely, last week, we had a really bad air quality, like one of like the worst, most severe in the nation kind of thing for about 4 days. And it was worse than Toronto. But I feel like historically, Windsor is geographically located in such a sweet spot, as we're lucky enough that the wildfire smoke has typically gone above and around past us, but it seems like all this crazy climate change that is really kind of seems to be happening, as much as we want to be, it must be instead of lightning setting off these fires, it's some kind of laser weapon from space. While that may be possible, I feel like people are a bit discounting a little too easily how much the climate has been like is a force to be reckoned with in and of itself. So I think in Windsor we're going to be seeing more frequently this wildfire smoke is going to become more of a problem for all of us. That's where the Americans are starting to get uppity a bit, because it's not just Windsor; it's going to be this northern states in the U.S. that are going to more frequently going to have this issue.
Have they started talking about smart cities? Because they might be trying to make way for them. So I jumped back on because I got to tell you when there's questions in the chat for you. So can we get a little background of your political parties in Canada? Jacqueline is asking, what are the two major parties in Canada? Do you guys have a duopoly type of system? Like, can you give us a...
We do, but we have the difference of the NDP making it a duopoly with a third party that's more significant than in the US. Like the Green Party's only got whatever, like 1% popularity, whatever, voting, doesn't really have many seats. But in Canada, until recently, they've really gotten decimated in the past few years, but the NDP had a substantial presence in the parliament as well as the Bloc Québécois. So it wasn't quite the classic duopoly, but we do have, like, they are distant third and fourth. Like they're not really, they're capable of running a coalition like a minority government. They're more capable of preventing the duopoly from asserting a majority government, unless they give their support to it, like the NDP has to the Liberals. But we have, as far as the Republicans and Democrats, the versions of those in Canada are the Conservatives and the Liberals.
And yes, they're all Zionists, because of course they are.
Yeah, NDP and Green Party and Liberals and Conservatives, all of them Zionists. Yeah,
they sounded a lot like what we have here.
If you look at every Western capitalist country, it's the same. Like it's copy pasta basically. You all have the same problem. It's basically like an illusion of choice, right? Because our two biggest parties, everybody voted for Carney because they were terrified of Pierre Poilievre. I call him PP because it's funny, and I'm 12 emotionally. But everybody was terrified of PP winning, so they voted for Carney, and then Carney basically just did like he just did conservatism anyways, just like whatever. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like one party is going to be like, you know, we hate you, we want you to die, and the other party is going to be like, we don't hate you, we don't want you to die, but they're going to move that way anyway. That's pretty much it.
We want to kill you slowly enough to for you to provide us with labor.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, to your point about the NDP, I mean, God, they almost won in 2011. Like that was huge.
Well, it's just like the US with Bernie Sanders. We could have won. We could have had the NDP majority government at any point had they made a serious effort to make it happen. But they're more intent on being a controlled opposition.
That was a man who radicalized me too. The only vote I've ever been proud of was for Jack Layton. He was the first politician to communicate that, like, because you know how all these other politicians, they're just going to say like it's the way it is, and you know, you just need to suck it up and deal with it, and there's something wrong with you, something about you is flawed if you're not thriving under the system. He was one of the first people, he was kind of our Bernie, I guess, to say like, no, the system, you're kind of valid to think the system sucks, I think we can do better. And that changed my whole way of thinking, because I was sitting here thinking, oh, well, it's a me problem. And then he's the first one to be like, no, this is totally valid. Like, it's not a you problem, but we need to do better. And that's really what first radicalized me. Before that, I was kind of like checked out. And then I realized, like, you know what? Yeah, like a better world is possible. So anyway, that was go ahead.
That's good to hear kind of how you got radicalized. You know, I appreciate the little backstory. I'm younger. I was a bit later to starting to pay attention to politics. It's really only in the past 5-10 years that I've started to become politically active, and that was like Jack Layton was. I think he was already dead really before I started to get like radicalized, But so I maybe had a little bit little. I had to do a little bit more on my own. I feel like that's sort of my unique journey, is that I hadn't really had so much one individual that I can point to that really did the radicalizing for me. I just kind of was doing my own research in my own time, and then just kind of connecting the dots, looking at how economics works, trying to figure it out. And then the more that I learn, the more I realize it's just corruption all the way down. Like, so, and then you hear about this guy named Marx, and you're all like, okay, let me see what he's got to say. And you're like, oh, pretty much everything that he's written and that people who have read him have written about seems to be vindicating a lot of what the problems are with our economy and with a global economy, and what the solutions are is more important. People like to talk about everyone talks about problems. No one talks about solutions, but we've had solutions for a very long time. People don't take our solutions seriously.
No, that's correct. That's part of the work I'm doing right now. Just we're currently hosting a Spaces every Tuesday at 8, planning direct action. Because we're trying to get a general strike going for the end of this month, July 30th and 31st, and we're planning on other ways to get people activated. Because like at the end of the day, I personally think we're a little past electoralism. Like, and I think people need to get that kind of clocked in, because from my trajectory, and I do a lot of research and all this, we don't have a lot of time until like surveillance capitalist dystopia finally kind of bears down. I think the data centers is a big part of it. I think a big part of it as well. I think the whole war in Iran is I think the whole point of it is a crisis. They want to create a crisis because it's always the same play: problem, reaction, solution. And I think the solution is basically to turn us into a bunch of serfs. They want like you
will own nothing and be happy,
You'll own nothing, you'll be happy, you'll eat the locust bars and you'll drink the bugs. I wish I said I was kidding, but there's a company promoting cricket milk, so that's fun. Let's drink cricket milk. I'm excited. I'm not even knocking that, by the way, because like a lot of cultures have eaten insects for thousands of years, and a lot of insects can be really nutritious. But I also think back to what Mark said about gruel in the peasants, and I think like bugs is a little too close to that. Are we just doing let's feed them the least amount possible so they don't keel over?
Yeah, that really seems like we're headed for a massive food crisis, and I've seen a few people trying to raise the alarm on that, but there hasn't really been much of a. Everyone's so apathetic nowadays. But there's too many crises. Everyone's their attention is focused on the Strait of Hormuz, and even though that's got a lot to do with why we've got a food crisis on the way, people just can't really seem to. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any thing beyond the pale that can happen that's actually going to wake people up to, like, I agree, like we need some more direct action, but I feel like every time I try and get people to be a little bit more cooperative in some kind of like anti-imperialist like political action, you start to sound like some guy whatever who's got their head in the sky or whatever, like pie in the sky ideas to them. To me, I'm not, maybe it's just my fucking whatever
let me jump
it's a
in
low
real
self-esteem
quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick, because this is all pertaining to what you guys are talking about. Sean laughs. Hi, Sean, by the way. Oh, hey, who's the admin here?
I was just trying to say hi.
Get out of here. I was getting there.
You got.
Well, I'll start there then. Welcome, Willie Bragg TV.
Hey, comrade. How you doing, man?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you here. Yes. I'm subscribed to his channel. You told me about him. Pretty interesting. So Sean laughs. I missed it. Okay. He says, "Can we stop calling it radicalized and start calling it normalized?"
Ah, nice. Well put.
Uh-huh.
Who's the
Well
normies?
put.
Really?
Who's the normies? And Rondo says, "Peace, peace, peace, fam." Of course, he didn't say that, but I'm saying it on his behalf. Because he says, "Feel how you want to feel about RBN. However, their preoccupation with mutual aid is a good idea." And you were kind of alluding to that on Tuesdays, right, Himbo?
As far as
So
the direct
yes,
actions you do on Tuesdays?
I do. I do love their mutual aid. I try to engage in that here at the community center. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been. So a bit of background. I've been an activist since I was in my teens. I've always kind of been very active on that front, just to try and it's just a really visceral, like, this is wrong. I don't feel like our government should be doing this. For example, they were trying to, I remember a while back, I was involved in a protest. This was around my first. It was the first time I was like handing out flyers and like talking to people and trying to get them kind of to care. But they were basically going to take out a moraine in my hometown and just build bullshit on top of it, right? And it was an important like wildlife, an important wildlife landmark. But like the main thing is you have to find those avenues for mutual aid. A lot of them are out there. Like I'm involved as well with like something we call like community fridge, where it's just kind of mutual aid surrounding food. Those are really good opportunities to just kind of get people on board. I've been yapping forever about the data centers being like the main class consciousness kind of catalyst, because nobody likes this stuff. Everybody hates it. You can get everybody on board. And my latest idea is like, okay, well, if they're not building a data center in your town, ask yourself, where's the nearest one? If the nearest one is travelable, then go there, start handing out flyers. I got them. Shoot me an email, shoot me a DM. I will hand you a data center pamphlet you can load up in Word and just type all the stuff in. It's super easy.
I need one. Louisiana is opening the largest data center in the country.
I heard about that.
Hottest part of the country. Good idea.
And it's interesting because, okay, I was watching your show the other day and you were mentioning you would like fist them in the ass before they could fist you.
Oh yeah, fist. Yeah, we're a very serious channel.
You were talking about.
They're kind of more your style than me sometimes, I say.
But it was in reference to, like, they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it, because if you don't push back enough, then that is you giving consent type of thing. And we've talked about this 100 times.
Acquiescence, yeah.
But I noticed with the data centers, the town halls are blowing up with people not wanting those data centers. And they don't care.
Yeah, it is.
They do not care. So I don't know, like, if they tell you what they're about to do, and if you don't push back, they're going to do it. But if you push back, they're going to get it done somehow anyway. By the way, the House just passed the NDAA for 2027, merging Israel with, yes, and $1.5 trillion for the war in Iran. Yep, just happened in the House. It's going to the Senate. So
while they're cutting food benefits for the kids in the U.S.,
I really put a damper on the combo, didn't I?
Well, not really.
No, I've been saying for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time. I said every opportunity I got that if we do not stop what's going on in Gaza, it will come home. And that's what this is about to be. This is absolutely what's about. What do you guys think is going to happen? Right? America's about to get the Gaza treatment. We're getting the Argentina treatment, in my opinion. It's going to burn a ton of shit down. And that's what's going to happen. But also, I know it's hard. And a lot of people get blackpilled, but I really coach people on trying to keep the revolutionary optimism, because as all of these things go down, you're going to find more and more people willing to grab a pitchfork, grab a torch. And speaking, Abby, to your point about people are at their town halls and they just don't care. Listen, I'm not going to say directly out of respect for YouTube and all that what needs to be done, but like,
so close and yet so far.
Where are the don't tread on me
the town
people?
halls, what's the next step?
What happened to the don't tread on me people? Where are they? They're too busy. They're punching down. Like, bro, the people that tread on you aren't the people that you're focusing on.
I honestly think they're demoralized, because I know a lot of people, it's become this trend to be like, hey, why isn't anybody rising up and stopping this? And there's a lot of like shame attached and a lot of like negative. That's not how you're going to get people on board. What people need is hope. They need to think a better world is possible. They need to think like it's not so late in the game that it's just over for everybody. That's what we need. We need revolutionary fervor in people, and they don't have it. And I think that was deliberate, because they're poisoning the food. Okay. They just watched their America just watched their government go over and just blow up a school full of little girls. They're watching ICE brutalize people. Like, these people are despairing. They don't have any hope. And it's because they're not seeing any wins. They're just seeing a government that's willing to just kill anyone that so much as like doesn't cower in fear in their house.
But they sound like them. They sound like the government, though. They're like, just hurry up and get Iran done already. And I'm like, what?
This is part of the problem with rallying Canadians. As far as
I agree. Go back to Canada.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, things are so bad, and you'd think that people are finally are suffering enough to start to understand what kind of actions are going to make it a little bit better. But then they keep wanting to swallow the propaganda. As far as like, yes, the data centers are bad, but like step one to dealing with that would be to kind of like turn off your phone a little bit. I know we're kind of it's doing that classic thing about the people on TV are telling you to stop watching TV, but like, if you don't let those algorithms poison your mind so much or whatever, you would kind of know who the actual enemy is, because like they want to scapegoat like Muslims and immigrants, and like the anti-indigenous hate is like bigger problem now than ever kind of thing, as if like, how the hell are you going to get around blaming the indigenous for any of our problems that we're facing now? I see people, I should maybe share I had some videos and stuff to share, but we are going through like a serious housing crisis that I thought that this trade war should have effectively killed this housing bubble, right? But it seems like no matter how bad things get, people are like, they have this ridiculous, like delusional, like identity as a Canadian. They think like we are some kind of nation it's actually amazing, and like we really are nice people. Everyone has great respect for us. So it's like, what kind of a country are you fucking like living in? Like, let me show. I'm gonna share with
you guys don't seem that nice anymore.
No.
It was all fake niceties anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah. It reminds me of Far Cry, the series Far Cry, if you guys have heard of it. It's a video game series. I don't know if it was 5 or 6, I forget, but the quote is basically, I'm Canadian. We're like Americans, except we apologize as we slide the knife in. And that's basically it. We're a resource colony. We are absolutely a U.S. vassal state. Don't buy all this like kayfabe about Trump and Carney fighting. They know each other. Oh, they know each other.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the
They
articles I had, I don't know if we're gonna get into too many of the things that I brought to share, considering we're wanting to do a bit of a shorter show to let you get out of here to get to your show. But an article from Read the Maple. If you ever want to check out a Canadian news site that's actually worth reading, check out readthemaple.com. And they got an article on there from talking about how the Liberals are like our defense industry. They're trying to pretend like they want to build up a sovereignty for our we're going to have our own defense industry. We're not going to rely on American whatever inputs, and of course they pretend like a Raytheon subsidiary in Canada is a Canadian company, and they do this whole song and dance, but we're building up our sovereignty, whatever, while in the process of taking away our sovereignty even more and giving it to the United States. So I agree wholeheartedly. Do not believe Carney when he pretends like he actually is whatever. Elbows up, right? I'm gonna fight.
I was gonna say elbows up, yeah.
Yeah. Well, also the other thing we should get to before you get out of here would be the in Windsor they've finished building this the Gordie Howe Bridge. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but we're the biggest border crossing in North America, so we really need to get this bridge open and get that trade flowing. And Trump definitely grabbed us by the balls on that one and twisted. And Carney obliged very nicely and just said, "Okay, you can have half of the tariffs or the taxes, tolls, whatever. You got half the tolls from the bridge that you're not really entitled to according to the agreement." But let me get to that. I digress, or whatever. I'm going on, whatever, fucking bloviating now. So let's see. Have you ever heard of this Market Mania channel?
I have not. I did. Sorry, real quick. I do want to give a shout out to two other. Since you mentioned like Canadian news channels, I really like Rabble is good, and Breach Media really good too. They both do really good reporting, in my opinion. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I've heard of the Rabble. I agree with you. Thank you for sharing that. I'll check out the Breach Media. I haven't really heard of them myself, so thank you for that. But let's see what this guy's got to say. This fucking smarmy ass real estate dude.
People just dump their stuff everywhere. Take you to a 73% loss in your purchasing power.
Only in Brampton would you see a guy get out of his Tesla and throw his garbage on the ground beside his car.
Fired. Canada's mortgage delinquency rate is at 0.26%, but what about Brampton? That would be 0.6%. Today, we are talking about the absolute downfall of this city in Canada, which is Brampton. Now, Brampton has turned into an absolute shithole, and Peel region in general has been experiencing rising crime. But not only that, it is the epicenter of the collapse of the Canadian real estate bubble. Would you buy a house in Brampton?
This key can be yours in just $750,000. This detached home in Brampton.
So do you want to buy a detached house in Brampton for $750,000?
No, God, please, no.
I mean, I certainly don't, because most of us know and understand what a shithole Brampton has become over the years. And it didn't used to be that way. That's the real key thing about this here. So as Shazzy puts here, the shootings are every day in Brampton. That's not an opposition.
I just want to briefly pause and say that this is a kind of recurring theme with Canadians who are well off enough during this crisis to laugh at us in our own fucking misery and crisis. It was always a shithole. Thank you very much. The entire country has always been a shithole. It never used to be this way. Brampton used to be such an awesome fucking city. Whatever. No, okay, stop it with the fucking delusions.
Yep.
Petition saying it's a resident of a neighborhood. So take a listen to this on the rising crime in Brampton. We'll be getting into the real estate and everything else in a moment here.
Well, yes, Michelle, neighbors here are reacting to what's happened here. It's rather unsettling and disturbing. Peel police are on the scene investigating what happened. Here's what we do know. It happened in the home behind me here. We're on State View Circle. Now, what Peel police say is that two suspects entered the home, forced their way in through a side door. There was some kind of confrontation with the people who live in the home, and one person was injured, but police say it was not from a gunshot. gunshot, but it was an injury to the leg or foot. But they do confirm that gunshots were fired within the home. Now, at this point, Peel police believe this may have been a targeted attack. They don't know, or they don't believe there's any other threat to the public here.
The family is pretty traumatized from this incident, and we're just taking it slow just to navigate and all to just determine what actually led to this incident. At this point, we're just trying to provide them resources, and slowly as we gather more information, we will be canvassing the area.
So this is not exactly. I'm wanting him to get more to the real estate stuff. They're trying to make a big pitch about the crime is so bad, whatever. But what they don't want to do is connect the dots and say, why would the crime be so bad? It has nothing to do with the housing crisis. The housing bubble is a huge attractor for money laundering. And so you get all these, human traffickers and drug traffickers and whatnot. They look at Canada as an excellent place to park their money in our real estate. And then you got people, maybe this is not a specific example of this, but a lot of this kind of gang war fighting, you're going to you're going to have an incident of shooting and whatnot, a home invasion. And it's part of like this gang turf warfare shit. But then does the news ever tell you anything like that? Do the police ever actually disclose any of this stuff? I mean, I have an article about a mayor. I think it's in Newfoundland or something out in Atlantic Canada, who just recently accidentally endorsed a biker club that's affiliated with the Hells Angels. And the police are definitely fully aware with like what the Hells Angels are. They're the biggest criminal organization in Canada, according to the police. And this mayor said he consulted with the police of his town whether or not there was any, and he said that those police said that gave him the go-ahead to fucking, publicly endorse this motorcycle club. And so they talk about crime, but then the crime is institutional, like the city and the police or whatever, like the city council and everything. They're all like organized crime, right? At this point. Go ahead, Abby. You're muted there.
There's a question on the floor. Well, first, hi Lance. Hi Marlo World, FTP. I don't think I missed anybody. Jacqueline stepped away, but
Marlo, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while, have we? So it's really good to see you. So Rondo wants to know, what are the major types, or I guess the most type of crime? Like, what kind of crime are we talking here? Blue collar, white collar? And
that's what I was trying to.
What the percent? Yeah, exactly. You were talking about it, so
that's what I was trying to get at. In that they're making a big stink right here about a little bit of blue collar crime that's been increasing in Brampton. And then he will, like someone said, they're just gonna blame it on Indians, South Asians, brown people. That's what he does later on in the video. That's why I wanted to share it, right? But
that's always a scapegoat.
I wanted to pause and say the white collar crime is not being prosecuted. The landlords, that's crime, but they want to focus on the blue collar crime. Go ahead, Himbo. Sorry.
No, it's just I always find it funny how like we really do have the same kind of like propaganda slop as other Western countries, because they've been doing this a lot in the States forever. They've been doing this over in the UK forever, and they've been doing this over here forever, where the crime's really bad because of the immigration. Don't take a look at why we have to immigrate so many people. The truth of that being that our population is actually collapsing, and if we didn't immigrate as much as we did, we would have a massive labor shortage. Let's pretend that isn't a thing. And like they just pivot all of this over to, and it's always it's all of the grievances surrounding capitalism, right? It's not, it's not like, oh well, the crime is the way it is, because people's material conditions are in the shitter, and they're just terrible, and desperation kicks in. That's definitely not why
getting a job these days. Have you tried getting whatever, like a legitimate job that actually pays you well and you have like decent rights that are being respected? Nobody wants to work anymore. You know, it's true, because they would rather do crime. We would rather steal cars and whatnot in Canada.
Yeah. And you know what? People get desperate. They have families they got to feed. They have stuff they got to, you know what I mean? It's all, that's what I'm convinced the mental health crisis is, as well. That is what the addiction crisis is as well. They want to blame, they all, every Western country, they just pick a group of people as an out group, and they're like, those are the people, that's the problem. Because they don't want people correctly waking up and going, oh no, the out group that's the problem is all these rich people who own capital. And that's actually always been the problem, because our entire government is beholden to them.
Yeah. But it's so much easier to just do the knee-jerk reactionary response of saying, well, I've seen in the last few years, there's a whole lot more brown faces around me from India. So it must be all of them. It must be their fault. It must have nothing to do with the people who've engineered the policy to allow them in, so that they can be used for cheap labor, and also to keep the housing market from fucking slowing down, because they're the more immigrants they're bringing in, the more people are still buying houses, because a fucking average whatever working class like white guy like me, whatever, there's no way I'm gonna be fucking buying a house anytime in my life, unless the fucking
no.
pops, right?
Oh my god, no, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Toronto for a decade, and I moved north just because I'm like, you know what? Like, I work remote anyway. I have been for years. Why are we tying ourselves down here when we can go north? And, you know, my wife and I got a house. And even up here, even out of the city, even like in, you know, like the sticks, I'm looking at housing prices and I'm like, nobody can afford this. This is insane.
Yeah.
And then people try to frame it as a Canadian problem, but all of my friends and family in America are saying the same thing. They're like, yeah, no, we're not owning a house ever. Like, that's just not a thing that's happening in this lifetime.
Well, this is where I think, as far as our to tie it back to mutual aid and direct action, this is a problem that we need to start to work on collectively. I think it's easy to recognize we can't individually own homes, but we should start to very seriously consider organizing as far as how to purchase homes for a group of people. We can pool our cash. If we can find people we can trust to live together, that's the much better way to live than for like paying rent like way too high to these landlords for whatever 1-bedroom apartment kind of thing. And that's as far as mutual aid direct action. Let's get some fucking support on getting these landlords sued. Like, in my building I'm in right now, it would really help if we could get a class action lawsuit. You know how they got this N12 problem with their evictions of people for pretending that they're going to move in their relative? The landlord says that I'm going to move my relative in, so I have to kick you out of your apartment. And then they don't move their relative in. And they just raise the rent for whoever because the rent is frozen. They can only raise it 2% a year or whatever. But if they do this little loophole, they get to set the new price however high they want, you know? So I've got in my building, we've got them dead to rights. If a fucking lawyer would have a goddamn spine, and I hate lawyers too much, whatever, maybe it's just me being a belligerent douchebag at this point, but you kind of can't really blame me, because like, we got them dead to rights. They claim that they had a relative that was going to move in. The person who moved in is not a relative. It's not just me that they served this eviction to. There are 3 other people on the same floor that I live on that were served this same eviction. They used that excuse to get my neighbor out across the hall, to get this guy in who's not the relative. And then because I didn't fall for it, I'm still here. And my other 2 neighbors, 2 old men that have been here a long time, they've had their rent like kept way low because it gets grandfathered in. They're trying to get rid of us or just wait them out until they die because they're old men, right? But they get away with anything. Like, it's completely against the law. The tenant board should rule against them and throw the book at them. But why are they not doing this? Because some kind of bribe is taking place. So we need to band together. I'm sure this is not the tip of the iceberg. I'm not the only person with this fucking N12 shit. You had something
cool.
to say, Abby?
Yeah. So, Lance wanted to ask you guys a question. He said, it's not about housing. If you want to keep on that path for a sec. Okay.
No,
He said, I saw a video of how a Canadian police department allowed crooks to run rampant. They busted a few with flock camera technology and then publicly stated that we need flock cameras. And we've talked about this in the past, about flock cameras and how prevalent they're becoming in America, and how they're not just regular cameras now where they take a picture of your license. Now they can get RFID scanners. They could pick up from your Wi-Fi, from your phone, from your AirPods, from your watch, and they even pick up from the sensors in your tires, and they follow you all the way to your destination and drop all that information in the AI data center. Whether you had a crime or not, it automatically picks up all this information and drops it in to store it for later, just in case they need to get you. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think about Canada starting to install all these flock cameras?
Well, I've been reporting on it. Their blueprint for essentially the whole West is a surveillance state. We're already seeing a lot of Canadian legislation surrounding that. We're already seeing the data centers go up, and this mass surveillance flock camera sort of situation as well is just another piece of that. And my personal tinfoil theory, I have many, but my personal tinfoil theory is that the reason all these things are going up is I feel like people are eventually gonna figure out loopholes around the whole you got to upload your ID to access the internet and all this crazy stuff they're doing. Maybe they'll get rid of their smartphones entirely.
Digital IDs and digital currencies, isn't it?
Well, Rondo says green lasers are cool, but it's hard to shine a green laser as you're driving,
Oh, I get you.
Listen,
saying, yeah, they're not telling you what to do, but green laser, they don't really like those for some reason.
Do not use that against flock cameras. Do not use green lasers against flock cameras. Do not do that.
Don't do that. Completely inappropriate.
No. It's just but these present opportunities too, because everybody hates flock cameras also. So when I think of this, I think, okay, because people ask me, why do you have revolutionary optimism? It seems like we're cooked. And I'm like, well, yeah, everybody wants you to think that you're cooked, so you'll roll over and die.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're planning on killing a lot of people. I hope that clocks with people. They're planning on killing a lot of people. They want you to feel that way. They want you to be completely...
Yeah. I heard... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I heard you talking about that. And they'll be like, oh, damn, the AI, it malfunctioned. Oops, you're dead.
Sorry.
Let's all move on. We fixed it. Everything's good.
Yeah, they've got a lot of things. They got a lot of things they're cooking. But what I was trying to say is that, I personally have optimism because these idiots gave us so many different organizing tools that we just didn't have before. Everybody was divided. They were fighting over reactionary nonsense, trans people in bathrooms, that's an actual problem. But conservatives always hallucinate this crap anyway. They have people fighting over legal all this stuff, right? I see 3 slam dunks right now that can get everybody on board. Number one, nobody likes Israel. Everybody can talk support is garbage. So you got Israel, you got flock cameras, which nobody likes either. Nobody's like, no, I don't want cameras everywhere all over the place tracking me. That's psychotic. And then you got the data centers. And then on top of it, you've got all the internet laws that nobody likes. Okay, you talk about like organizing across the proletariat. Internet anonymity. I mean,
and you got an economy in the shitter.
Sorry?
I said, and you have an economy in the shitter.
Yep. Nobody can afford anything. Nobody can afford groceries. They can't afford a home. Their jobs just will not raise the wages. I've talked about this with tons of people. They're like, I'm literally at the point where I'm begging my work to pay me more, and they're just dragging their feet. And it's like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get priced out of survival because that's the point. That's what they want.
Right. Yeah. And just like I was advocating that we should get together and collectively purchase some housing, we should get together and collectively start some businesses so we can employ each other, so that we don't have to deal with that nonsense of having to ask very nicely a boss, whatever, to give us some money, to asking a man or a woman that we know full well has no intention of ever doing that for us. So let's stop beating our heads against the wall, shall we?
Yeah. We let's get some worker co-ops going. I've always wanted to kind of look up, like, you know how everybody has these steps on how to start a union? I want to look up steps on how to like convert your company into a worker co-op. Like, if enough of them are just like
I was asking like you're talking like a B corporation where it's all employee owned.
Guess if that's
on
paper.
Yeah. So
you gotta research some of this.
I was asking because we have a grocery store here that's 100% employee owned, and I didn't really know. Hi LPWN, they're new here, I guess.
I pwned you. You never heard of the
that's one of
pwned online?
No.
That's one of my people.
What does that mean?
It means you have been defeated. You've been defeated in the marketplace of ideas.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that before.
It means you're probably getting teabagged online.
Yeah,
teabagged online.
You just died in a video game, and your opponent is spamming the crouch button to make it look like you are being teabagged.
You have to be a gamer. And you said something the other day. My best friend says it all the time, and I'm like, what are you talking about? An NPC, non-player character, yes.
Character, yeah.
And I'm like, what is that?
Speaking of which,
I don't play games.
That's funny because I found a communist party, a new communist party of Canada, and they're the NCPC, and so what their name is not a good acronym for a communist party because it sounds like they're the non-playable character party.
The first thing I thought of is New California Republic from Fallout New Vegas. But
I did want to tell you guys about the B corporation though, because 100% employee owned me. Because a worker, we were just like kind of shooting the shit, and we had a good rapport, and I was like, what does it actually mean to be 100% employee owned? Like, how does that work? And he said after a certain amount of years, then they start giving you stock in the company. And I'm like, well, how much stock? He says, I'm not sure. I don't know that part yet. So I don't know how
these are the subtle things,
effective
though.
A B corporation.
No, that's not what we want. From my research on that little bit, I don't know if that's what they're called in Canada or whatever, but that is a problem. They're trying to trick us with that. We don't want stock in the company. We want ownership, equal ownership of the company. Ownership is not the same thing as having a piece of stock in the company.
I thought it was going to be
when they tie it to the stock, when the stock market crashes, which they're trying to do on purpose, then you lose all your value, and then they get you to eat the cost of the corporation when it tanks, or whatever. They get you to hold the bag through the stock.
Right. I thought it was going to be more like that company where that CEO cut his salary down to $70,000 and paid all of his workers $70,000. Like everybody made $70,000, full stop. I thought it was going to be more like that. Oh, you make good money here. Oh no, you still make the same wages that you would typically make at the grocery store. They're just like, but you get some. We'll give you a little stock. Like, who gives a fuck about your stock?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, it's 7. I would love to stay.
I was gonna say, not to hold you too much longer, but go ahead.
No, this was super fun. I'd love to have you guys on Prolepilled sometime if you want to come on and shoot the shit, give her a rip. To the people tuning in, if you want to see our channel, it's I don't even know how to describe it at this point.
Let me see if I can call it up real quick.
You
guys are pretty funny, whatever. You guys are pretty knowledgeable. Do some of the conspiracy theorist sort of stuff a little bit, but everybody loves that, So
it's basically left-wing Alex Jones. Yeah,
left-wing Alex Jones.
It's basically left-wing Alex Jones. I don't know how else to describe it. That's the closest to it. But unlike a lot of conspiracy channels, we have receipts. I love me a good rabbit hole.
Hey, I pawn you. Subscribe over here. Come on over.
This is what it looks like. Check it out.
I mean, they do. Look, guys. They do their show at 6 p.m. We're always at 9 p.m. Their show is 2 hours. So watch this, and then you can come over and hang out with us. It's perfect.
We'll set up the ring.
It's perfect.
Okay, Jacqueline. So Prolepilled, the name. Okay. So prole is like short for the proletariat, which is a Marxist term for the working class. So it's kind of like red pilled, but instead of red pilled, it's Prolepilled. That's where it comes from.
Proletarian pill. Yeah, Michael was explaining that to me.
Proletarian pilled. Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, exactly, Mario.
Unique.
You got it. And yeah, we cover a lot of stuff. We were talking about the poo lettuce and a bunch of other stuff. So tonight I'm gonna be going through a bunch of there we go.
That's one of your people too.
Kitty, you're priceless. Where will we be without you?
Oh, that's Kitty.
Yeah,
that is Kitty.
Kitty always always fall for it. It's like so green.
He has so many. There's so many.
And it's so fast.
Yeah, it's so quick. It's dude, we did an expose on Graham Plattner, and this dude, like lightning fast, just changed his thing to a picture of Graham Plattner, and the name was Goisterman instead of Oysterman. And we died on air. I almost expired. I almost went back to the wheel. I couldn't get air, and it was so funny. Anyway, really appreciate it. I'd love to come back sometime. I was gonna stay for the full show, guys, but we had like basically my headphones like blew up, so I kind of had to reschedule. We usually stream Wednesdays and Sundays at 9 p.m. I'd reschedule that to today because of the headphone gate, as I'm personally calling it, just in my head just now. But yeah, I'd love to come back for a full show. If you'll have me, and we'll definitely need to have you guys on Prolepilled.
Yeah, sounds good. No, I'd love to talk to Mad Crab and Descent in Bloom. They're great podcasters in their own right, and I was hoping to be able to get around to talking with you about mental health one of these days, because from what I gathered, you got maybe a bit of background in the mental health. I've had some experiences with the mental health field, so we can maybe, if you wanted to come back, we can do a show about that. That would be great, I think.
I would love to. And
I would.
I heard from your viewer. I'm trying to I'm trying to bring this in at the same time. That you were the first to drop the news on cyclosporia.
Cyclosporiasis.
Spore in your ass.
I got a spore in my asses. I had
There you
that, by
go.
the way. That's why, yeah, we were out for a week because of me and my issues and on the shitter. But you were the first to drop it. I wish I would have saw that and I would have cleaned my lettuce better or something. I don't know.
Well, we are kind of we do call ourselves Tomorrow's News Today, and that's because, you know, we kind of, it's mostly pattern recognition. Oh no, come on, man. What are we doing? He made a South Park Canadian, yeah. Yeah. Cyclops spore, exactly, Cyclops sporasses.
Oh, I'm never gonna forget it now. Yeah, he has to go. I'm sorry. Cyclops.
No, it's all good.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I got it.
Yeah, I know you're trying to get out of here, so let's not keep you too much longer. Whatever. So we do a country goodbye.
I say the longest goodbye. It's just I'm from the South.
No, it's all good. I just, my ADHD is so advanced that I have to constantly remind myself that I need to do other things. Otherwise, I will just, because it's fun talking to y'all, I will just stay here, and then before you know it, my co-host is like, "I'm in Restream. Where are you?" And I'm like, "Right, yeah, that's
so
what
we
I
gotta
do."
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Anyway, I hope you guys have a hope you guys have a great rest of the show, and we'll definitely talk about having you guys on. And I would absolutely love to come back and talk about like psychology and mental health for 2 hours. So you can count on that one. So just
cool.
We'll talk about timing, but I'll definitely be back.
Sounds good. Well, we'll be seeing you on your show. We'll probably be tuning in after this. So
awesome.
Good luck with that. Go get something to eat or something.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to do all day. Okay. Yeah, no problem, guys. Have a good rest of the show.
Thank you. Yeah, peace.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun.
So I have an announcement. Let me refresh first before I make my announcements. We are at a milestone, and we're at that milestone here at Noteworthy because we have it's turning. How many subscribers? Hold on, get out of the way.
Have we hit that 300?
I made this so underwhelming because of my
You buried the lead or something?
My internet. 301 subscribers.
Yay.
And we love each and every one of you, comrades.
Thank
you for helping us grow this channel. We appreciate growing this channel with you.
It would be nice if we could somehow make it up to that 1,000 one of these days. Then we could maybe get some super chats or something.
Yeah.
It's a long road that's worth traveling, you know?
Yep. It's amazing. So, yeah, we don't have anything. You don't have anything, right? Or you wanted to?
Well, I could share some few things, maybe
about Canada.
Stuff, yeah, that I wanted to share about.
We were told to start a Patreon.
Oh yeah. Patreon. Yes, that's what we've been dragging our heels a bit. I got the Ko-fi that I got for me, but we've been behind the scenes. I've been kind of trying to encourage Abby. We need to try and set up a thing where we can get the donations to one neutral location so we can split the pie properly, because I don't feel right just asking for donation support when she doesn't have a donation link herself. And so that would be something I think would be nice for us to resolve.
And don't worry, y'all. I always tell him, I'll let you know when I'm ready.
I know. I was like, it's all good,
It's all good.
I don't really think it, like, there is a thing, there's there's something to be said about those people who try and make this into a money-making opportunity. Like when you try and get paid for this kind of work, and then you all of a sudden it becomes about the money and not about the content. I think we got to try and square that circle a little bit. We got to figure out, because otherwise we're sort of like you will own nothing and be happy. What we're doing now is we're giving YouTube the opportunity to have free labor, in that we're not, if we don't get paid by YouTube and we don't get paid by the viewers, but we're still doing work, somehow the labor is getting done for free. So, but then the problem is, like, do we really feel like what we're doing is work? So many people these days, they don't really see the podcasting of being a YouTuber as doing real work, you know. But I think that's why we try and do like a news channel, so that we're not just like, and I mean, entertainment is work too. That's the thing. Like, but so a lot of other content creators definitely deserve to be paid for their entertainment. I just find like there's a very oversaturated market for entertainment on YouTube, and this is a very niche, whatever, like getting actual information that you can make do with. That should be important for people, whatever. When we live in the age where information is power and all that.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, information's the new gold, right? With all this data centers and everything, but the podcaster who wants to give you the news that the mainstream media won't give you, I guess they don't deserve to get paid. There's a serious cognitive dissonance happening here, I think. But of course, you know, we got the bias, whatever, conflict of interest. We want to get paid for our work. Who doesn't, you know? Anyway, I didn't mean
but
to
not
go on that.
but not by an advertiser.
Yeah.
Like
No,
not
we
by
don't wanna
someone
be
who
corrupted.
can influence you
Yeah.
or what have you. Well, I don't know if those advertisers, I don't know if they just if it's because of the amount of subscribers they have. I'm not sure if, like, I mean, they're just regular businesses, so I'm not exactly sure how much of influence they would actually have on the content of your show. But it seems like most people who do have advertisers, they're very centralist. They're either centralist or moving rightward, you know, like liberally.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone would even if we had thousands of viewerships or tens of thousands, I don't think anyone would be wanting to advertise on our show.
No, and that's as far as advertisements, like that's where if we're doing like a local, like the socialist thing, we support like grassroots kind of businesses that are left leaning, cooperatives and whatnot. We could do advertising. Like as far as advertising on the Noteworthy specifically, I thought we could try and bring in some of the local musicians and whatnot who want to advertise their work. You know, like they could do like an exclusive on our show and kind of introduce something
in a do place. That for free though.
Right. No, but this is where all of that, it's as far as building a brand and making it into a business instead of just doing the work for free, right? There are opportunities where we could do you scratch my back, we scratch yours, whatever. Like by having musicians coming on to show their work, what it would make us into would be a hub for that kind of activity, right? It would make
we have to be way bigger than now, right, though.
But all in good time.
Maybe Cowboy Kitty, you should get paid for your work because.
And it's really what we want. Moneyless, classless society. Well, we're just kind of getting ahead of ourselves. I want to work for free. I would love to do that.
I would love to work for free.
Yes. It's just that people want to take advantage of my instinct to like that's like it's my natural instinct is to try and just like start living in the socialist way, right? And not what most people are trying to say is even if you're socialist, what you have to do is go get a job for a capitalist and try and force him to pay you even more. And that's all chasing diminishing returns. And so maybe we should cut the chase and stop trying to earn money. But I feel like by trying to do that, I'm like way too poor to like get anything started. I can't even start a business because of that fucking approach.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you want to to say more about Canada? Because we had said we were going to leave early.
No, let's just we can close out on a funny little video that I'd shared with you at the beginning. We ended up just jumping on
I didn't
without an
see
intro, but yeah,
Sorry,
there's
I didn't realize.
It's okay. I'll share it with you again, and I'll have to thank Old Man Barker if he's here. I'm not sure if he's with us, but if he's catching the show later, thank you very much for sharing this.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just saying thank you for sharing this video in the Discord. And speaking of the
sent us
Discord,
a really cool video too. I don't know if we get a strike going out on this video. Jacqueline showed us a really good video too. He's an artist that I don't know how I happened upon this artist, but he's just, I don't know, his voice is majestic. He talks about mental health. He's really funny, a lot of dark humor, and I think he grew up like suffering from some kind of debilitating thing or something. So I think he's better now, but he's still like sickly. His name is Ren. I don't know if you've heard of him, but you should check him out. I think you would like him. Okay. R-E-N.
On YouTube?
I think go to Ren Makes Music. Type Ren Makes Music. R-E-N Makes Music.
Okay. Yeah.
Lance is recommending that Canadians move to Baton Rouge. I'm just so tickled that he thinks so highly of this city because let me tell you. Pull the curtain back, honey.
Well, it's hard to celebrate any city these days, especially in North America anyways. I feel like all cities across the whole goddamn continent are just in decline because they don't want to, like, that's one of the things we could have gotten into about Canada, where we got these problems, like productivity problems. They just don't want to invest in the worker. They just don't want to invest in us. We could solve our problems, right? Just fucking fix the infrastructure. Care about your own people. How hard is it? Apparently it's a bridge too far.
I guess so. They're trying to recall our governor right now. He's so busy with his head up Trump's ass that he's not working for the Louisianians. He's the one who inserted himself to be the ambassador or convoy to Greenland. Do you remember that? Jeff Landry is his name.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just disgusting. But anyway, you want to play your video? I see you haven't even shared it yet.
Yeah, my bad. Here it is. So this is just a little short one, but you like to laugh at my accent. This guy's definitely laying it on thick, but I guess those out west, those Albertans, they got better accents than we do here in Ontario. But this guy's pretty funny. You got some closing words before we get out of here?
We're gonna close on this. Okay, cool. Thank you for helping us reach our milestone of 300. Lance said get to 330. So I guess that's our next milestone, 330. Just keep adding 30 to it.
333. Let's get to 333.
You know what? I don't know if 330. The 33 is. I don't know if that's a.
We got to get to 334.
The 0 is no, so let's get 331 at least. we don't want the 0 on the end because we don't want to have shit to do with 33. Okay. But yeah, thank you for helping us reach that. We'll see you on Tuesday. We'll probably see you at Prolepilled because I've never caught their live, and I kind of want to do that and hang out with their comrades over there.
Yeah.
And look, over the weekend, make sure you're taking care of yourself, your family, each other, and don't let this world get you down, because we're worth more than what they tell us we are valued at.
Right.
I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, as bleak as things seem right now, it's only that way because we are finally entering into a period where, try not to butcher the saying, I think it was one of Lenin's quotes about there are times where things like decades happen in weeks. There are times where weeks happen in decades, this sort of thing. We're actually in the period now where decades are happening in weeks. So this year is like on hyperspeed, and that's got everything to do with the crisis of capitalism. And it's great to actually, as brutal as it is to experience it, it is great that capitalism is in crisis, because it shows that it is not infallible, that it can be over sooner than you think. And it just has, we just need that massive paradigm shift that for it to click into people's minds, that, oh, so they really have been gaslighting everybody like crazy. They really have been murdering everybody like crazy. Oh, I guess there really is only one solution. So it will come. Just have some faith. Not in a religion, but in people. So, all right.
Is this wait, before you do it, is this a Canadian thing? Good day, you hosers. What's a hoser? I thought he was saying your hose, and I had to look.
A hoser is a Canadian insult. It's kind of an older one. I don't know if people say it as much anymore, or maybe they're more like out west, or I live so far south, close to the border. I feel like we got American slang here, but a hoser is,
yeah.
You're like a poser. You're like a loser. You're like a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out of here. We love y'all, comrades. Stay safe.
Sorry, it was a bit of a short one, but maybe you're welcome. It was a bit of a short one.
Right. Right.
All right. Have a good night.
Flight attendants voted way near percent in favor of a strike ski. August-long travel plans looking less relevant than Tal Bachman. Pour the frig qua. Their pay's more mangled than my buddy Rick swiping my 12er a pilly and wiping my wave runner on Wizard. Forget repairs. You owe me 12 beer, pal. Only thing more broken than Rick's spine is LessJet as a business. How we navigating with no moral compass, boys? They're publicly owned, guest-friendly, affordable memories faded harder than soul decision. Think we're getting shafted as customers? No doubter, but flight attendants are beyond service staff. They're friggin' safety pros. Like a steel toe that serves you wobblers. And they're working up to 35 unpaid hours a month, a friggin' week's worth on the job site. Waiting for the plane to make like Bob and Doug and take off, counting down escape and the lunatic degen surrounding you. Buddy next to you needs to accelerate his breath. Grimy little goon behind you is booting your seat like it owes him Smarties. We're packed like Brunswick sardines and no legroom, shit heaps of seats. More friggin' irritating than Caillou. If crying babies rattle you, I get a beak that heinous little mutant. And the flight attendees? They ain't getting paid for these hours bleaker than road trip in Saskia to Winnipeg. Ugh. Add her up, they're making sub-mini wage. Overworking, underpaying safety proskies by a company who can afford to fork up the legal tendy. Kevin O'Leary feeling these jets on greed or what? I've seen more ethical business practice from Cyril friggin' Sneer. Sign this friggin' petition, bud. Private equity firms taking advantage of workers. Ottawa's notorious undermining of labor strikes. Like Nickelback's magnum opus. You got all the right reasons. Let's send a message that unpaid work's greasier and less acceptable than the Montreal screw job.